Like my deep crankbait box. Yes, here it is. It's my deep crankbait box. That's the big Spro box. A lot of people always want to look inside of my tackle boxes or anybody's tackle boxes and see what they actually have in there. And as you can see on there, I wrote on there, I think you can see on there, DD. Well, Little John DD. This is my Little John DD box. This is essentially my deep crankbait box. And as you can see, it is slam full. It's a waterproof box, which you would like to have waterproof boxes. But you just check out this Warrior here. I mean, look at that bill. It has been absolutely trashed. And it has been thrown a ton, caught a ton of fish on it. That's citrus shad. I'm gonna just kind of go through a couple of colors. The biggest group of colors, my number one color for deep cranking, kind of want to explain that to you, is, man, they're so jammed in here I can hardly get them out. I'll get you one. It's called Cellmate. It's hands down my number one color. I mean, there's been, I'm gonna venture to say thousands of bass caught on this color by yours truly. And as you can see, this one is very weathered because they come through cover very well. You can see that one's been gnawed up, beat into all kind of stuff. But that Cellmate is my number one color. I'm gonna be throwing that on a cash and deep crank rod, 12-pound test. But that's probably my first go-to. It just looks a lot like a shad, a lot like a gizzard shad or a threadfin. And it has a good thump, gets down probably 15 to 18 feet, depending on how far you cast. And that's my number one deep plug right there. You can take it in 10 or 11 feet of water and just dig the bottom, and it'll work just fine. And it does very well. If the water is a little clear, then this is probably my go-to color. It is Spooky Nasty. I love that. It's got that blue glimmer on there. As you can see, this one is very weathered as well. Like I said, I throw these things a lot. I catch a lot of fish on them. And if the water's got a little color or I want to change up a little bit, I will throw the citrus shad. This is an old Bomber color, the Bomber fat-free shads. This was one of my favorite Bomber fat-free shad colors. Actually, probably my favorite Bomber fat-free shad color. And so I'll throw that. And this is one, I think I snagged the hooks off of it for something else, but she's been thrown. That's root beer chartreuse. That is a really good change of pace color as well. That's what I like, keeping that one to mix it in. And then, where's the other? Another shad color that I like to mix in is called Homemade Shad. Got a few of those. That's a newer color. Really like that guy. That guy gets he gets some airtime. And then, well, there's one more in here I was going to show you. It's right there. It is right here. This one, if you want to give them a little different look, there's the matte sexy shad. That's a newer color right there. It's got that blue back. It's got that matte sexy. I snagged this from Shin Fukai. Shin came up with this color for the Aruku shad, and I saw it and I really liked it, and I said, let's do that in the deep crankbait. So those are kind of like my top colors that I throw in the deep crankbait. And then in the front, I've got the baby DD, and that's the clear chartreuse, my little smallmouth killer. It's because I got the EWGs on there. But if I'm more in a bass situation, a large greenfish situation, Homemade Shad is definitely one of my number ones. Homemade, the citrus shad, and then the Cellmate. And then just to keep them honest, I like to throw in something with a little bit different vibration. And if I'm only gonna have one color of Russ Lane's Fat Papa 70, it's gonna be that mellow yellow. That is a really nice color, especially if you're on the Tennessee River. It runs about 12 to 14 feet, somewhere in there. It doesn't quite run as deep as the Little John 70 DD, but I like that because it's got a softer rolling action, and you get on those 10-foot bars, and you get to catching them on the Little John DD. You want to give them a little different vibration. That is a good. So I've got a couple of those handy as well, and then I'm going to hit them with the with all these other I mean, this is, you know, hands down number one. And then the Spooky Nasty. Even if if it's real sunny and I want to give them a little different look, I'll go to the Spooky Nasty. When we were at Gunnersville last year in May, I caught almost 19 pounds on that color right there because it was flat slick, and it was flat slick and bright sun, but they were down there on the ledges, and this was the only thing I could get them to react to. I threw you know, scrounger heads, I threw Carolina rigs, I threw drop shots, and I couldn't make them react. But this bad boy right there was making them react, and ended up, like I said, I caught almost 19 pounds on that and jumped up a bunch in the standings. I think I caught it on this exact plug, to be honest with you. And if you can see on there, I write on there, because I throw them so much, not every single bait runs exactly the same. So some are just going to run a little bit better than others. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what anybody says. They all do not run the same. And so even the Little Johns, some of them are just going to run a little bit better than others. And it's, I can't sit here and tell you this, they do this or they do that better. Some of them they just run better. So once I fish one for, you know, 20, 30 minutes, I rank it, and I'll rank where they are, like a 1 to 5. And I'm hard. Like, I don't know that I may have like 1 or 2 5 baits in here. Everything else is a 4. 4 is a smoking good bait. So a 2 is a good bait. Is decent. I mean, I don't get any that really are crap, to be honest with you. I don't know that I've taken one out. I can't remember recently taking one out of my box because it didn't run good. So I have a really hard scale. If I get one that's a 4, that's a bad dude right there. And this one was a 2.5 when I originally ranked it. But after I fished it for a while, I probably should jump that up to like a 3.5. I might do that now. I might just, as soon as we're done with this video, I might rank it up to 3.5 and jump it up. So I like to rank them. And if you fish a bunch of the same crankbait, and you know when you get a good one versus a decent one, you can rank them too. That's a nice little piece. And then oh look, I have a custom color. I had one painted. I wanted something with a little more, it's got that G finish on the top. I wanted something with a little different look. I had my buddy Mike Russell painted that for me. And that one's a 3. It's a good one. It's a real good one. It's a 3. 3 is strong in my rankings. I'm tough on them. I'm tough on these rankings, but that's my tackle box. That's my deep cranking tackle box from Spro. I've got to reshuffle the baits to get them to fit in there. If you have any questions on anything that you saw in there, hit me up. But I mean, if you're on the Tennessee River, we're talking summertime fishing, May, June, July, even August, you better have some deep crankbaits on your line if you want to get bit, especially when they're generating power. Get out there and get well in a hurry. I'm getting ready to fish out here on the Tennessee River on Pickwick here soon, and we'll see what happens. Maybe my lucky box will produce for me, and we'll have another. I've caught hundreds, probably thousands of fish out of this box on you know, between Gunnersville, Kentucky Lake, and Pickwick. So hopefully we'll add a few more to the tally here on Pickwick this week. But hope y'all enjoyed that. If you got any questions, comments, drop it down there. I appreciate you guys watching.